Well, hi there. How's it going? So you've seen by the title of the video that we're going to be talking about loadouts. So if we go to the arsenal, I generally think this is one of the most underrated features in the game, to be fair. Loadouts. You can see that all my loadouts, I use most of them. They've all got names. And I explain to people, I say, look, that they're going to rank up some gear, so they have to take off all their weapons, they have to equip all the weapons that they want to use for ranking up. So let's say, for example, I go to my ranking loadout. So I have my Proteon here. I use her to help me, well, help other people farm for XP. But you know, the only stuff on here is basic stuff that needs leveling up. So, you know, we're going to do a mission, and then way too often people will join and they'll say, okay, I need to switch all my stuff out. Well, the cool thing about having a loadout is, if I go to my navigation, for example, I'm going to be doing exterminate. Now this is where it gets a bit annoying, because you've got to use bow only, but at least most of the loadouts already set up for you. So I saw there that was it infested or was it Grenier? Yeah, it's infested. So I have a loadout for infested extermination. So if I go to my loadouts, we'll go to I have exterminate, sabotage, and capture all on like the same loadout, because it's usually pretty simple stuff. And then I have it for infested. So I use Protea against infested because genuinely she's like my abilities are just so strong, it just annihilates them, and most of them are like fire and slash based, which is good against fleshy targets. So the only annoying thing is that she can be squishy if you're not on point with your grenade fan. But this is basically what I just set up to absolutely annihilate any kind of infested, even my companion as well, which my Kubro is pretty good against infested, is very tanky. I don't want to use a sentinel against infested, because if their gas or the toxin damage will kill it quickly, then it's pretty much dead. So for the exterminate mission on the salty, only thing I'd have to go do here is switch out my primary for a bow, because it requires a bow. But if we try and look for a different example, for example, sometimes you'll get like, let's say there's a rescue here. I've just got to press X to change loadout. It's a rescue. All rescue missions are basically the same. I'm not really going to be killing anything. So I've got my Limbo on that one. My Limbo, I use him to put the rescue target in the rift, so he can't be damaged. And then we've got about 40 seconds to get to extraction before the target gets out of the rift again. Which normally you can get to the extraction in that time, unless you've got randoms lagging behind, which normally happens. But then we've got other loadouts too. So we've got Spy. So if I go to a Spy mission, I can use Ivara. She's perfectly set up for a Spy mission. If you want a video on that, then that's something you can let me know in the comments. But she's perfectly set up for Spy missions. She makes Spy missions extremely easy, and then I have her set up so she's very fast as well, so I can get from vault to vault very easily. And then she's also got the Buzzer Prime on there, Rattleguts SMG, which is one of my strongest weapons, just in case shit hits the fan. And then she's got a Zor dagger on there as well, because she's going to be stealthed all the time, and daggers are very good for stealth with the covert mod. So, and then she's also got Helios Prime with no weapons, so the companion isn't going to be shooting stuff and giving away my location. So if I'm going to do a spy mission, I can press X, switch. Normally it takes a few seconds, and there we go. I can go straight to the spy mission. For example, when you're doing stuff like the star chart for the first time, I mean, you're probably not going to have enough stuff to actually make a proper loadout for each individual mission. So this is probably more to save time on like Steel Path. When you're playing through your Steel Path, you know, you're going to be going through missions, so you're going to be here, an exterminate mission. You don't really want to be using your spy loadout for an exterminate mission, and it's against the Corpus. So I'll go to this one. There it is, Corpus. If you didn't gather already, the C stands for Corpus, G is for Grenier, and I is infested. I actually need to do one just for sentience as well. That's probably something I'm going to make up quickly whilst I'm on the video, actually, just so you can get an idea for it. But yeah, I can switch to my Corpus one, and I've just got a Mesa which and her peacemakers are set up to annihilate Corpus. There we go. Toxin and Magnetic, perfect against Corpus. Might be a bit overkill against the Corpus. And I've got a Bremer with Toxin, so it completely ignores shields. That one not so much, but it's got that much damage, it really doesn't matter. I haven't got enough space for different builds on this to get like Magnetic and Toxin or whatever, so I've got an Eidolon build which I don't use, so I could probably remove that, to be honest. And then Profit Taker, so that gun's that powerful anyway, so that it doesn't need to be set up specifically for a faction. If it's against Grineer, Infested, Corpus, whatever, it's going to kill them. Even Sentience, it absolutely annihilates them. Grand Prime, this is set up for Toxin. And guess what I've got on this one? That mod that I haven't ranked up yet. But that's the kind of, I need to rank up that mod, but that's an example of what you can also do for these loadouts too. So, you can actually make use of these mods, and these mods actually make a really big difference, because these plus damage on, basically your final damage from all these mods, then it pluses the extra damage towards that faction as well, so that actually increased the damage by a lot. Unfortunately, there's none of these for Sentience yet. I suppose you've got your sacrificial pressure ones and whatever, but... Okay, so we've just done our Exterminate mission with Mesa. What we got next? A Spy mission. Awesome. Well, we're going to want to be silent for that one, so we'll switch to that. Switch to Ivara, Stealthy. Once we've finished that mission, we've got an Excavation. That means we're going to want some defense. So, you see what I'm trying to get at? Instead of having to, okay, well, I've just checked what the mission is. I've got to go back to my arsenal, and then I've got to change all this, so, I don't know. I've got to switch this to Frost, maybe. I've got to switch my Bazaar, which is good for being silent, but I want to switch this now to my Ogress. And then, especially if you've got synergy between different things, you don't really want to lose that. For example, of course, I'm the max rank. One of my main focuses is to try and get these loadouts perfect. So whatever situation I'm about to be in, if someone puts a mission up there and they've started the timer and it's got about 20 seconds to start, I can press X, switch, and I'm ready for it. This goes for any mission. So for example, I've got Eidolon / Roper Lollist. I've got a conservation loadout. Yes, I've got a whole loadout just for conservation because I'm going to be in a big open environment. I'm using a sniper because why not? Ivara, she's very stealthy. She can put the conservation targets to sleep with her first ability. And then I've got some other bits and bobs on there just to help me out. I've also got just, again, it's a Helios without, I mean, you could probably make the argument that I could just use my spy one for this. So to be fair, I could actually save myself one loadout slot and just put spy / conservation. To be fair, I might actually do that because they're actually very similar builds. Well, I've got another one for Elite Sanctuary Onslaught because it's Siren and it's Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. I don't think I have to say much about that one because Siren is clearly the queen of Elite Sanctuary, and so I've got a whole loadout for that, and everything on there synergizes very well. Even for later targets, I've got the Brack with a pure status build and Cronin Prime just to slaughter everything. Interception's an interesting one. Normally I use Nova, basically, because it slows everything down and makes it very easily. My Interception one, I don't think that's properly set up, to be honest, so you can ignore that one. Hijacked and Defection missions, I use my Hildrum because she can just have fat shields, and when you're projecting hijack targets, you need fat shields basically to actually use as a source of power to keep the target moving. And Defection missions because I use my 4th ability to basically follow the defection guys around. So they're the missions where you've got the targets, the groups of Grineer, and you've got to escort them out of the ship. And you've got, so if I'm elevated in the air with her 4th ability and anybody around the targets that we're protecting are elevated in the air too, then they can't do anything. Index because Revenant is OP in the Index, and Stropher is very powerful, built for radiation against the Index targets. So you see what I'm trying to get at, I guess. And then I've just got stuff down here, just specific builds for specific Warframes to try and make the Warframes as powerful as possible. Normally these are mostly the same, but for example, with my... If I try and find a good example for you, I don't really think I've got one, to be honest. This one for Inarius, I've got the Akenbrunt Sword and Shield, so if you're blocking with a shield, you take hardly any damage at all. And Horus is already super tanky, so why not, I guess. Najar, he's got his Guando Prime. I don't usually use it that much, but it's a good melee, so it came with Najar Prime, so I'm going to use it with him. Why not? And then the Wukong, the Proboscis Cernos on Wukong, where he can... Basically, the whole idea with that is that my Celestial Twin will use Proboscis Cernos and pull all the enemies together, and then I'll just run in there with the glaive and just throw it in there, and it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess of everybody dying. So that's the whole idea behind loadouts. So yeah, if you want to use a loadout and you want to create one, so let's create that sentient one I was talking about, where we'll specifically try and kill sentients. So I'm not really sure if I need to make this one or not, but I will. So what you're going to do is going to go to a random loadout. Like, you'll have these ones. If you just want to click on an open loadout, you can double tap it and then put the name in there of what you want to do. So I guess I'll do that. So I'm going to call this one Sentient Slayer. Why not? So it's going to create that loadout for me. My Sentient Slayer in Warframe is my Mesa with Zartar's Whisper and Corrosive Peacemakers. So I guess I'm just going to use Kick Gun because it's very powerful, if it will let me select it. It's very powerful against Sentients. Of course we can use the Paracesis because it's very strong against Sentients, of course. Especially with the sacrificial mods, which I could probably try and get the sacrificial pressure mod on there, so it's extremely good against sentients. That's messages from my clan talking. Nice. So you see we've got the Warframe, that's very powerful against sentients. And we've also got the sword, which is obviously very powerful against sentients. I could use Umbra Excalibur there, but it hasn't got that much damage against sentients. Like, this is my method that's literally built for killing sentients. So this loadout now, if I know I'm going to be facing off sentients, for example in the Railjet mission where you've got to investigate the sentient anomaly, this will be perfect. I can select this, and then we'll go there and do it. Easy. On top of that, I could also try and make a Railjet loadout, but I don't really think I need to make a loadout specifically for that, because I know for a fact if I take my Protea loadout, this is literally built for pure, like, area destruction, pretty much. That's literally what this loadout is. I mean, she looks crazy. She is crazy. She's gonna fuck shit up. Basically, her powers are... If I cast that in the Railjack, it pretty much affects half of it. So, if I cast it with fire, that's a lot of damage to everything. If I use Blaze Artillery and basically hit most of the enemies with that, they're gonna die. Grenade Fan, it's got a massive area for me, my build. If I use my Ogress, that's just going to destroy... So, the whole idea is that this will just destroy anybody in that mission anyway, so... You don't specifically necessarily need to make a loadout for every single mission type on Warframe, but the whole idea is that these will save you time. So, I would definitely say that these loadouts, making them is probably something that you should try and get to like later on. This is more of like one of them mid to end game things. You're not going to need them for an early game scenario, so you're not going to need, I don't know, like an index loadout. You're not going to need that straight away, because if you do an index at low level, you're probably going to, you know, someone's going to carry you there anyway. Eidolon, I would definitely try and get some kind of Eidolon loadout straight away, because you're going to use specific weapons that are good against Eidolon, so you don't want to go to your Eidolon build, and then you'll do Eidolon one day, you won't do it for a few weeks because you forgot that it even existed as an activity, and then someone asks you to do Eidolon one day, and you'll be like, oh yeah, shit, what weapon did I use for the Eidolon? You know? And even on my Rubico Prime, I've got it saved as Eidolon, so I know that I'm not going to touch that for something else. That's saved as Eidolon, so I'm not going to touch that and work it, because I want this to stay like something specific for my Eidolon hunting build. So I guess that's the idea behind loadouts. To be fair, I don't think I explained it very well. I'm generally not that good at explaining stuff, not gonna lie, even though yes, I'm talking on a YouTube channel and trying to do like little guides and walkthroughs and whatever. But I'm pretty shit at explaining stuff, to be fair. But this is my idea of loadouts, and again, as a endgame activity, this is generally one of the things I enjoy. People say, why, you've literally unlocked every weapon in the game. Like, what is there even to do at this point? These loadouts. You see how many there is? I've got 44 loadouts. They can always be improved, and I can always make new loadouts with different builds and whatever. Even in this video, I thought of like 2 new loadouts I can make. So that's the whole idea of when I name my loadouts as well. I put like a dash in front of like the mission specific ones. Then just, for example, this one actually needs a dash in front of it. And then when it comes to just any old Warframe, they're down here. So they go in name order, and then all my specific mission type stuff is at the top. These situation ones are just stuff that I'm playing with at the time. These are just generally builds that I'm playing with, and then sometimes I'll just save them as a loadout. Again, the ranking one at the top, I've put a little comma in front of it so it appears right at the top. So if I'm going to level some stuff up, obviously I don't really use this one much now, but when I'm forming an item, yeah, I do. So yeah, that's my little take on loadouts. I definitely recommend trying to use loadouts whenever you can, because later on they're definitely going to save you a lot of time. I do have I do have a video coming up soon. If you're not aware, I am a clan leader, and I generally focus quite a lot on building a dojo. We're about 10 months old, and the dojo is being decorated quite a lot, and it's just something I'm quite passionate about. That's generally why I don't do videos on YouTube a hell of a lot, because I'm focusing on decorating the dojo, believe it or not. So the next video is going to be a little dojo tour. So I'm going to do a dojo tour of the stuff that I've done so far in there. It's quite big, so it's going to be a bit of a lengthy video, because I'll be explaining stuff, and it'll be a cool little video for my clan members too, so they can actually have a look, and they can actually kind of get an idea of everything, like each room. And then once I've done that video, any future projects that I do in there, I'm going to make as like a time lapse, so everybody can see what I've been doing in the dojo and whatnot. So hopefully you've got an understanding of what loadouts are now. If you already knew what loadouts were before but you didn't use them very much, hopefully I can try and hope this video kind of gave you an idea of why you should be using them, and why encourage you to try and get a grasp of them and try them out. Otherwise, you've seen the pop-ups. Like and subscribe, please. It will be much appreciated. It will be nice to make this a full-time thing one day, even though, yes, I don't do it too often, which I should. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.